Congratulations! If you're watching this video, chances are that you've purchased or are about to purchase a Marvel 8 Mark II vertical bandsaw, the latest version of the world's most popular and most versatile metal cutting saw. In this video, we have put together a basic overview of the installation, operation, and maintenance procedures for the 8 Mark II. This video is designed to accompany the operator's manual and to illustrate some of the procedures it describes. It is not intended to take the place of the operator's manual. Remember that all industrial machinery can be dangerous if not operated and maintained properly. Be sure to carefully read and follow all of the safety messages and instructions listed in the operator's manual and other technical information provided, as well as those posted on the machine itself before attempting to install, operate, or maintain your machine. In addition, be sure to follow all of the applicable federal, state, and local safety regulations and safety procedures, such as lockout-tagout. A thorough knowledge of the operation of this machine and the hazards it presents is your best protection against injury. Now, let's get started with some tips on installing a number 8. When your saw arrives, it will be skidded, crated, and braced for shipment. The crate can be removed at any time, but the saw should remain on the skid until positioned for installation. No special machine foundation is required for installation. A dry, level concrete floor in good condition is best. When positioning your saw, choose a well-lit area. Allow sufficient space for the loading and unloading of material, and provide easy access to those areas that may require maintenance and repair. Be sure all of the doors and access panels can open without interference. Following the procedures described in your owner's manual, uncrate the saw and remove it from the shipping skid. The machine is now ready to be leveled and anchored. Leveling is extremely important for consistent, accurate cutting. Follow the instructions in the owner's manual to level and anchor your saw. The saw should be level from side to side and front to back. The saw's 4 leveling screws are designed to accept anchor bolts. If you wish to anchor your saw to the floor, spacing dimensions and hole sizes are shown on the technical drawing that comes with the saw. After the saw has been leveled, you can remove the 4 eye bolts from the saw table and the 3 shipping braces that support the column. Before operating the saw, it is important to clean all machined surfaces that have been protected with rust inhibitor. The next step is to install the coolant pans and splash guards and connect the coolant or lubrication system. The coolant pans should be positioned as indicated in your manual. Your 8 Mark II is equipped with either a flood coolant system or an EcoDrop lubrication system, or in some cases, both. The hose connections and mounting instructions are covered in your manual. Any electrical connections should be made by a qualified electrician. You are now ready to adjust the column tilt clamp. The tilt drag screw, located just above the clamp handle, controls the resistance on the saw column. This screw has been tightened at the factory for shipment and needs to be adjusted. First, loosen the clamp handle. Then, loosen the tilt drag screw until the desired resistance is achieved. Next, you will need to install the feed hand wheel, which was removed from the saw for shipment. Slide the hand wheel carefully onto the shaft, positioning it so the set screw is over the flat on the shaft, and tighten the set screw. Finish the installation by securing the end cap in the center of the wheel with the socket head cap screw provided. You may now install the vices on the table. Using the adjustable socket head clamp for the rear vice jaw and the T-handle ratchet nut for the front. If your Series 8 has been ordered with roller tables or other accessories, install them now by following the instructions provided with them. The saw is now ready to have the main power connected. Be sure to have all electrical connections made by qualified personnel. The power should be connected as described in the installation section of your owner's manual and in the electrical schematic provided with your saw. If you are using flood coolant with your saw, add it now. The coolant reservoir holds approximately 20 gallons. Remember, the coolant pump should never be run without coolant in the reservoir or pump damage will occur. After filling the reservoir, install a splash guard on each side of the coolant pan. Next, install a blade on the machine by following the instructions in the maintenance section of your owner's manual. Be sure to disconnect the saw from the main power supply and lock the disconnect switch in the off position before attempting to install or change a blade. Also, be sure that the teeth of the blade are facing outward, away from the rear flange of the band wheels. Now that the blade has been installed and tensioned, you're ready to check for proper rotation. This will show if the main power leads are properly connected. Make sure all doors and guards are closed and secure. Turn the electrical disconnect switch to the on position. Set the coolant switch to off. When the start push button is pressed, the blade will begin to run. Remember to keep clear of the blade at all times. Press the start push button and observe the direction of travel. Then press the stop push button. If the blade travel is downward, then the motor rotation is correct. If the blade travel is upward, the motor rotation is incorrect and the main power lead connections will need to be changed. If this is the case, follow the instructions described in the owner's manual. When the correct rotation has been verified, turn the main disconnect switch to off and perform a thorough final inspection. Inspect for loose components, guards, or panels, loose fasteners or fittings, loose hoses or conduit, missing or damaged items, coolant leaks, tools or other materials left on the saw, overall condition and readiness for use. You are now ready to move on to the operation of your new Series 8. Be sure to carefully read and become familiar with the function and location of the components described in the machine description section of your owner's manual. Remember to read, understand, and follow all of the procedures described in your owner's manual. Before attempting to cut any type of metal with your new saw, be sure to familiarize yourself with the proper blade speeds, feed rates, and blade type and tooth size for the types of material you will cut. Be sure to carefully review the pre-operation checklist shown in your owner's manual. Remember, to avoid serious injury, never operate a defective or broken saw, a saw with missing parts, or a saw that has been altered in any way. Never operate a saw with guards or covers removed. Turn the machine's power off with the main electrical disconnect switch and lock it in the off position before adjusting, servicing, or cleaning the saw. Never operate the coolant pump without coolant in the reservoir. After performing the pre-operation checklist, position the lamp switch to on. Set the coolant switch as desired, and place the feed lever in the neutral position. Next, adjust the feed force to the proper range for the material to be cut. Tilt the saw column to the desired cutoff angle. Make sure that the upper guide arm and blade guard will clear vices. Turn the main electrical disconnect switch on. Position the workpiece for a trim cut or for the desired cutoff length and clamp it firmly in the vise. Adjust the carriage stops and knockoff dog to limit the saw column's travel and to shut off the machine as desired. Position the upper guide arm as close to the workpiece as possible. Press the start push button. Set the blade's speed to the proper range for the type and size of material to be cut. Remember to only adjust the blade speed while the blade is running. To make a cut, position the feed lever in the feed position, and the saw column will automatically feed forward and perform a cut. At the completion of the cut, place the feed lever in the neutral position and manually retract the saw column. Press the stop push button to stop the blade. At this point, You can either cut more pieces following the same steps or shut off the machine. Regular maintenance of your Marvel bandsaw will help deliver consistent, accurate performance. Be sure to read and follow the common maintenance procedures and the suggested maintenance schedule outlined in the maintenance section of your owner's manual. And thanks for purchasing a Marvel 8 Mark II.